Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan, and here basically we are talking about some dangerous topic that is basically the United Nation topic. When world was created, that time basically there was no like United Nation, right? And if I say that around there are 6 crore blood cells in human body, right? There are 6 crore blood cells in human body. We have 6 crore blood cells in human body. That basically everybody believes, right? So just see basically how United Nation is going to connect to very, very, very deeply. Very deeply means why the Third World War actually started. That is basically you are going to see. Why the Third World War actually started. Without Third World War also things was going better, right? But Third World Wars was few people says that Third World War's planned. That's basically their thinking. Basically, you can say because few people say that they are experts in judgment. Basically, so according to that, basically they have done the judgment. So here basically we are telling that how basically United Nation basically say that we are basically the authorized group to give certificate of each and every person. For example, one person is not getting job, another person got the job, but the another person basically who has not got the job, he was more intelligent than the more intelligent means 100 times intelligent than the person basically who got the job. So what the reason basically? That reason also we are going to see that why actually he was not able to get the job. Each and everything basically we are going to see here in United Nation basically. What actually the United Nation? United Nation basically are just few hundreds of people only, but they are experts on their field. They are experts on their field. Whatever United Nation basically required to take the decision, whatever things basically which is required to take the decision, that basically they purchase it. For example, currency department basically experts, basically tax department experts. Tax basically everybody knows that how basically the tax are calculated. Many less people may basically might be knowing that there are few groups basically who actually has created the chartered accountant degree, and they say that we have drawn the boundary of chartered accountant, so that basically nobody is supposed to come and out of that chartered accountant syllabus. That is also basically totally different topic basically. One day basically we are going to take one this topic basically, that is the chartered accountant degree, basically what actually the chartered accountant degree is and how basically they are drawn the boundary. In short basically I will tell chartered accountant equal to few books, assume that are 18 books. 18 books basically is created from, assume that it's created from 17 cities ideas. In 17 cities basically there are few buildings basically created for especially for chartered accountant ideas. Ideas means I will take one example. Chartered accountant have one problem in book number 3. In book number 3 basically in 17th number is the formula, 17th number is the formula, and the solution is also given in the 17th number formula. So that basically whenever the basically students are doing the formula, students are solving that problem basically 17th number of third number book. Whenever he's solving the problem, he's writing, he's keeping remembering, he basically written 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times. When when he basically writes the perfect, as basically he's writing the problem, solving the problems, as he's getting, his mind is basically connecting to that buildings basically, you can say. You can give this as a Directly, basically, nobody in this world basically can connect to that building because the power company has already taken the 16 cities ideas. That 16 cities basically, the buildings basically are many buildings basically. Uh, Whatever city basically, here basically number doesn't matter. This chartered accountant books basically have certain cities created, and six cities are basically giving the ideas of this 17 books, 17, 18, 19, whatever number. We don't go into the number side. So whenever that person is solving the problem, when thousand time basically he's writing this problem and giving the solution in the book or wherever basically he's writing, that time basically his blood cells gets generates of that problem number, book number, and solution, and that building basically, which is already created by the chartered accountant groups basically, who basically say that we have drawn the boundary of the chartered accountant degree. So this is basically big topic basically that we are going to discuss, but this is basically summary basically. This summary contains everything basically. You can in detail would be like that, how basically that building got created, who are basically the groups basically whose energy basically created that building, that are basically the stories basically, you can say, of the each and every people basically who actually created the chartered accountant degree. So same way basically United Nations have basically the set of experts basically who which are required to give take the decision in this world. So United Nations basically say that we are basically the groups basically assume that 300, 400 people are there basically. Here also number doesn't matter. Here also number doesn't matter. The 400 people basically are in the United Nations group basically, who basically takes the decisions on the base of certain data basically. So we have already taken the currency department basically. Currency department basically the currency experts are there. Currency department, the currency experts are there basically. So they take the decision. They also basically has drawn the boundary. Books are created. So like this basically each and every boundaries are drawn. And like this basically they have basically the experts. Experts basically takes the decision. And they only takes the clearance of black money and white money. Of black money and white money basically. So individual persons are there basically who gives the black money and white money data. One more thing basically I will discuss here. Uh, One person told that he is a master in missile blasting. Basically, he is a master. He is master in bomb blast. So one person told that basically how basically the one small missile basically can blast the entire city basically. Is it that possible basically? This actually I have already discussed. Then the another person basically he was an energy expert basically. He told that it is not possible basically because we are doing the environment setting. For example, one missile is going to blast 15-kilometer areas. So the missile is going to blast. But the 15-kilometer area basically environment we are going to set. So according to that environment which is setted, the environment which is setted by the energy company, according to that only the blast is going to happen. And that person basically who actually created that missile, he basically must know basically which area basically up to what level basically the data is going has to be captured, and according to the data basically the blast is going to happen. So you should know the diagram basically of the 18 kilometer, whatever the kilometer number basically, according to that basically the missile is going to blast. But if he say that we I have set it 22 kilometer, that is not going to blast. Why? Because the energy group says that we have already set it up to the 18 kilometer. Up to 18 kilometer only we have set it. So 20 to 23 kilometer it's not going to last. So there basically the energy company says that we have the authority to do this all this thing. So basically the energy experts basically 100% knows basically that which much area basically he's supposed to do the blast. But here also basically the energy department basically might be doing how basically. Here they basically also basically how basically they will be doing the thing basically. Then one person basically given the answer that there are 800 crore people. They are basically handling everything. The answer was basically literally shocked basically that whatever 18 kilometer has set it as a blast. Just see basically the things basically are getting connected. You can't believe it basically. Here basically the medical department basically takes very dangerous role basically you can say. 800 crore people basically energy basically is controlling the entire world buildings stability basically you can say uh, stability means you can say the buildings is standing. It's not moving to left, it's not moving to right, it's not moving to downside also, it's not moving to top also. Top means basically when the world was not created, that time basically the each and every object basically was going top only, right? Because the creation was not created. The creation means the environment was not set it. For example, if you go to the Mars and if you try to create the building, then basically you can't able to create the building basically. You can't able to create the building. You have to set the environment, lots of things basically you have to do. Then only basically you are going to. Because when Mars was created, that time assume that around 1,50,000, just taking as an example, 1,50,000 planets were there who actually created the Mars. So they only basically can create the creations also. So the buildings, the sea, the trees, the nature, the foods, the items, each and every human needs, they only have the authority to create it. Same way in Earth planet, when Earth planet was created, that time assume that there were 2 lakh planets basically who created the Earth planet. Just see basically the deepness basically. They only basically can do the adjustment. But this basically universe formula is there. They basically do. So here basically UN basically can't do anything. Why? Because the case has already passed to the universe department. And universe department means it's very dangerous. Anytime anything can happen. Anytime anything can happen. That's why basically UN always say that we are always alert. That's why the army department always say that we are always alert, always ready for war. When you ask any Indian army top people, basically, they say that one reporter asked Indian army top army officer basically, if assume that somebody do the suddenly attack to India, and so you are ready for the war. Then they say that we are. The answer is always like this: we are always ready, 24 hours, anytime any war basically will start. We are ready for the war. So this was the very dangerous answer basically. But this is the only way the army give the answer because they know basically the because army is created on the base of universal law. So that basically we are going to see after some time. Like this basically the 2 lakh planets basically created the Earth planet. So according to that, all the human needs basically created. 11 blood groups also created, and like this, the world created. After the world created, only the United Nations got created, right? They keeps on adding their employees. They keeps on adding the experts group basically. Then basically they created their own currencies also, basically their own currencies. Basically you can just imagine basically the currencies basically I'm talking about. United Nation basically creates the country, right? United Nation have 400 employees. United Nation have 400 employees. Each employee basically is connected with set of countries. Just see basically how dangerous the things are going. Each employee basically is connected with the countries, and each current employees of the United Nation gets the salary, and that salary basically is directly connecting with that countries. That salary basically is directly connecting with the countries, each and every department of that country basically. So this is basically also one of the part of the Congress achievement basically. And in next part basically we are going to say a little bit more about this.